Tara, I wanted to ask you, in 2005, you found out that you had an incurable genetic disease that affects your connective tissue and all these wonderful things that you love doing, which was running, riding, swimming, walking on sand. How in your life have you dealt with that? And how are you now?
Well, I'll start from how am I now? I'm actually much better. And I can do
Amazing.
most, yeah, I can do most of the things I love doing. I can swim and hike and play and all of that. I'm back in the ocean again. Um, and Sarah, for probably a good 5, 6 years, I was spiraling down and I had no real reason to hope I could get better. So what it did was it forced I couldn't enjoy life the way I normally would enjoy life. And it felt like a death. And a lot of people I've talked to when they get sick like that, it feels like a death of the life. And I realized I needed to have a much more profound way of feeling love for life and at home in life. And that became my prayer. May I love this life no matter what. And I started finding more and more in subtle ways I had never explored before that I could become very, very present and quiet and enjoy think I could just sit still and look at the fern in my bedroom and the lacy leaf and get a real joy from it, or walk very slowly somewhere on a flat plane because I couldn't do hills and just really breathe with the movement and feel myself on this earth, belonging to the earth. So I learned a lot from being sick, and I learned it in a relational way too. With I was newly married and I had married my husband, and when we got together, I was so athletic and we would just have a blast in all these different ways playing. My first gift to him was a wetsuit so we could go boogie boarding. And then within 2 years, I was a basket case. And it brought up this real fear and shame that, I'm not the woman that he got together with. And is he going to want to even be with me? And I remember the pain of that, and then bringing rain to that and recognizing that I was caught in this deep shame spiral, and letting it be there, allowing it, investigating and feeling it in my body, and feeling that old core feeling of, am I lovable, that deep fear, and then holding myself with compassion. And I did enough rounds of it that I began to be in a much deeper, more tender relationship with myself. I felt much more spacious and open, and then I could talk to him and I could actually confess, this is what I'm feeling. And he was able to confess how powerless he had been feeling and being able to show up for me. And we actually became more intimate than we ever had. That his love was not about whether I could go boogie boarding with him, surprise, surprise. But in my mind, I was in question. So I share this with you because illness has a lot of different ways that it can bring us down. It can be the chronic pain can just bring on
Mm.
depression. It can bring on a sense of grief of losing life. It can bring on shame that something's really wrong with us. And it requires what I call finding a very deep refuge of spirit and presence and love that is big enough to be able to hold the illness. And I found that, and I'm much better now. And if I got sick again, I'd still struggle, but I know that there's um, a space that I am familiar with of loving presence that can hold it when it happens.